Good evening. I had a story all set. I woke up this morning and the words were there, and I was really excited about telling you all about the most important resolution I ever made in my life. But that story is going to have to wait for another Story Slam because something happened this afternoon at lunch. I work at Your Country Day School. That's what brought me here with my wife 9 years ago. Brought me to York City, got us started on raising a family in this wonderful place. And I was sitting across from my friend Thaddeus, and he says, "Hey, Asa, my friend JJ was talking to me the other day, and she said, do you know Asa? Does he happen to work with you?" And he said, "Yeah, he does." And she said, "Oh, I feel really bad about what happened last time at Story Slam. I really hope he comes back." And I was like, "Actually, I'm going tonight." So here I am, and I want to tell you a little bit about what happened. First time storytellers, anyone out there waiting to maybe, get their name pulled and tell a story? Yeah.
Not anymore.
You feel really nervous, right? A little jittery, right? It's vulnerable to share your life in front of a crowd and people you don't know. And that's how I was 2 years ago at my first Story Slam. And I sat over there at that table. We had just had twins not long ago. My wife was working that evening. I got a babysitter to fill in the gap so I could come. So I was here by myself. And I just wanted to see what it was about and maybe share a story that I've been thinking about. The theme was confessions. And so I had a confession. This was heavy. And I was nervous, and I was drinking my beer and just said, you just wait, and you wait for your name, and then you just do it. And names were called, and it turns out that there were a ton of people telling their story that night. And names were called, and my name wasn't called. And I was sitting across from an older lady, and she had a great story to tell, and was likewise nervous. So we were sort of commiserating, like, "Oh yeah, you feel nervous," and we're sort of exchanging looks. And we get to the end of the time and say, "Well, that's the max we usually do, but we've got a bunch of other names. Can we vote to stay on and hear a couple other stories?" Everyone said, "Oh yeah, we want to hear more stories." So, okay, we'll take the last couple names and we'll pull them out of the hat. And a name is pulled and we hear their story. Another name is pulled and we hear the story. And the last name is pulled, and it's my friend, my table mate across the way, and I felt so happy for her that she could tell her story. But such a strange feeling that I had, because I had enjoyed all of these stories, something about condoms plugging up someone's septic tank, that was their confession, being arrested overseas on a school trip. It was wonderful, but I hadn't told my story, and I felt selfish. I felt like upset, but not. It was the strangest feeling in the world. I went home, and since then I've reflected on that experience a couple of times. And as I was coming tonight to this Story Slam, I thought, isn't that amazing? What a gift is an audience. Who am I that somebody would listen to my story? What a gift it is that someone would sit down and hear what I have to say. And it was a wonderful thing that everyone shared that night, and I was glad that I had just listened. Thanks.